Hey, everybody.
It's always we go high and then it just goes in with like nothing.
I was about to bring it, Matt.
Oh, okay, sorry. I'll back up.
Matt throws a wet blanket on it.
Bring it.
Welcome to Comics Covered.
Show me what you got.
Show me what you got.
I'm in with some Rick and Morty there. Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. Today we have a really fun show, actually. I'm Matt. This is Matt. This is John. That's Matt. We're the co-founders of CovrPrice. Matt, you just threw me off. CoverPrice.com. We're a collection management service, price valuation, content, new releases, FOC, ton of stuff. If you haven't signed up for CoverPrice, get a 5-day free trial. Go to CoverPrice.com and give it a go. Today we have some interesting stuff happening. Number one is we just did a survey of the comic book industry, and we got over 2,400 people responded. And as a thank you, we are going to do a drawing for everyone who entered at the end of the show. And we're giving away the Spider-Verse and the Amazing Spider-Man, these two covers right here. Iconic covers, super awesome. So we're going to give that away at the end. We're also giving away a bunch of, well, we have an amazing guest. Matt, do you want to do a little intro for Mr. John Boy?
Yeah, I should have thought of a proper intro, but we're bringing on John Boy Meyers, the great John Boy Meyers. You know him and love him, but he's coming on he's used to Comic Tom style stuff where it's high production, high quality, and then he's coming to this ragtag show. So yes, let's bring John Boy.
He's slumming it with us. great intro, Matt.
Yep, there you go.
Hey, thanks guys for having me on. Very thrilled to be here. Thank you very much for letting me come into your home. And
I'm sorry it's not as good as Tom's nice.
No, everyone's got a different vibe.
Yeah,
no, it's totally cool. I like the setup. It's been a long time since I've done a podcast, so I'm very honored. So thanks for having me on.
No, we're big fans of you. I mean, it's funny. I got to bring on some writers onto these shows because we've had only artists on so far. Because I mean, we're fans of so many artists. Not that we're not fans of writers, just like it's.
Oh no, I know how it is. Oh yeah,
that is one thing we want to kind of get into. It's like, writers used to be the superstars of the industry, where I feel like artists are now the superstars of the industry.
Thank you. That's cool to hear that. It just really, although writers still kind of run it because like writers get to pick their artists.
Sure.
Really. So,
sure.
Yeah. So,
but you can't be like James Tynion and at a panel and be like, I'm going to write this for you. It's $500, right? Like you could write a poem and say, you're not gonna get much for that poem. But if you draw a sketch, like it's instant value, right? You can draw a value, which is
it's weird because everything's so subjective, right? So if I think if Tynion were to write something and did a poem, I think people would probably pay good money.
After we say it out loud, that probably would go for a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're just like Joe Schmo writer, then of course probably not. But I mean,
right.
That's the thing is like art is a little bit more easy to objectify a little bit of what you think is good and not good, versus like writing. Sometimes they're so subjective too. So, but artists can be subjective too, but. Yeah, usually it depends on your taste with art because there's a lot of guys who, when I was first starting out, I had a very much kind of like I liked the image guys and a lot of the writers I was working with like anti-image and they always bag on me for like drawing like that. And like, well, this is all flash and no substance. And I'm just like, all right.
Well, I saw an interview where you were talking about like, you work best when you have input with the writing team, and because writers have input on your designs, right? Is that?
It is very much writer driven. It's usually it's very top down these days. So it's the head guys, the editor in chief or the president dictating what you're doing and what's going on, and they goes to the editor and the writer, and then they pick an artist. But when I worked with Paul Jenkins and then worked with Todd McFarlane on Spawn, like. It was just like, well, what do you want to see on this? What do you want to do? And I'm just like, I have a voice here. Like, oh yeah, you're a big part of this team. Like, we want you to be engaged and happy about what you're drawing. And if you have input on it, then you can actually do something. You could because the thing about it is, like, Paul Jenkins would always tell us, like, even Todd's like, this is a marathon, this is not a sprint. So if you're not engaged, you're not going to last. You're going to get burnt out. You don't like the stories because you're not engaged. You're not part of it. You're just a power tool in the hands of a writer or an editor, and which is true, because it's not a lot of fun at that point. It is a job, don't get me wrong, but I think you want to be able to. I think there's a lot of power in being able to add to the narrative of, like, Teen Titans or Spawn, because you grew up reading these titles as a fan, because we're all fans here. And, like, I'm sure, like, Matt and John, you both have your own ideas, like, oh, this would be a great Teen Titans story. If we could do something like this, I'd be so involved and so in on that, because you're fans of it and you want to kind of add your put your thumbprint or put your mark on that run on the character, because there's a lot of things that great, like, artists and writers do, but it's very forgettable. Like, this Batman run happened, it was kind of forgettable, and these guys are great artists, great writers, but you can tell there wasn't, there's not a lot of involvement on that end, so. You don't want a John Boy poem.
Well, you're that rare breed where you're both an artist and a writer.
Yeah.
Do you, when you're doing that, do you prefer one over the other? And second question is, when you have full control and you can do both, is that just the best of both worlds, or is it too overwhelming to have to do both?
Sometimes it's overwhelming because you don't know where to start. And for me, it's like you always have to have it's kind of like James Gunn, what he talks about is you want a final script, you want a final product to start building the world around, because when things are too nebulous, it's easy to get distracted by the new and shiny or this other idea, and you just go down this rabbit hole. And that's what's been happening to me for the past couple of years, where nothing's quite solidified. So when I get a better idea, I just kind of run with it. But then you spend this time on all this new designs, new ideation, and kind of reinventing the wheel every time. And it's kind of a waste of time. And you really want to come up with a good concrete idea and kind of move forward on it. Because Todd was always talking about it, like, look, the main thing is that you can do as a creator is you keep on the same book for like 5, 10, 20, 30 years. And you keep building that character and building that narrative. It goes, because nobody cares about if you just do a mini series and you're off to the next thing, because you're just abandoning this world. You're just, so the thing about it is you want to keep building on your narrative. So I think it's good to be able to write for yourself and draw for yourself, but also write for other creatives. And you also want to write to their proclivities too, because I think the thing about it is you want to give people a say-so in what they're doing. So, you always got to give people some form of ownership of what they're doing, because if not, it's just kind of like there's no investment. I think, you're kind of like, you're not getting the best out of somebody. But when you have somebody saying, hey, do whatever you want to do and have fun with it, then it's like, you're kind of like, oh, cool. All right, well, I want to do this crazy Ghost Rider shot where he's chains are flying everywhere and I'm doing this thing. And it's like, oh, it's all bananas. So, then you're going to get the best out of somebody. Whereas like something else, because everything in this industry is so transactional. You're just a hired gun. You're brought in to do this one and done thing or a cover. Or you're here to draw this one issue or this one book or this mini, and you're done and you're out. And it's really easy to be kind of divorced from the whole passion of it. And for me, I would rather be all in on what I'm doing and really excited about what we're building, because I want people, I feel like that excitement I have for a project will imprint on the page, because then when you're reading it, you get super excited about it. Like, oh yeah, you can tell the guy, the team is really banging on all 4 cylinders. They're really invested in it. They're really like, hey, we want to give you something great.
Yeah.
Do you feel that itch to return to internal art? Are you comfortable in your role as a cover artist? And I ask that because people we've had on recently, like David Nakayama and Will Jack, they're both very comfortable doing cover art, and they know that's where they want to be.
Well, for me, I'm more of a mindset. If you say you're a comic book artist, you have to do interiors and covers, upco plot. You have to be involved in the process. I think being a cover artist, you got to try to do both. And I think it's important to try to wear many hats, because you flex different muscles, because when you're doing a cover artist, you want to get the gist of, you're kind of like a one and done image of a character and that's it. You're off to the next thing, versus when you're a narrative artist, you're trying to tell a story and you're trying to get some sort of emotional reaction out of to convey story and what's happening with these characters through 20 or 22 or 25 pages. So it's good to flex both muscles, because I notice when you stop doing interiors and you just focus on covers, going back to interiors is really, really difficult. Because I'm working on interiors right now, my own stuff.
Right. And
it's like you're a lot slower, and you're kind of like, oh yeah, everything's much, you know, you're. Oh, thanks, Nelson. I really appreciate everyone's commenting too. Thank you guys.
Yeah, we got so many great comments coming in.
Yeah. I appreciate it, guys.
Kind of in line with what you were saying, JSS Brooklyn was asking, how do you transfer the story? Oh, you took it off, Matt. How do you transfer the story to art, in your opinion?
I think it's always good to try to talk to you. The more you can talk to your creative team, the better. And a lot of writers don't want to talk to artists. But for me, I want to make sure, like, hey, you know, if I'm drawing someone's story, like, hey, what's the theme of this story, or what are we trying to achieve here? You know, and if they can't articulate that, dude, I'm just kind of like, I know there's going to be problems, you know, because
if a contractor could talk to the architect and the internal designer, you know, you're going to have a nice house, right? Like if they don't communicate with each other, like the different teams, it's
yeah. You need to know what you're building, and you need to be all on the same page on that, because that's the thing about it is if we all have 3 different opinions on what we're building, at some point you're going to hit an impasse. Like on Teen Titans, we just hit an impasse. Yeah. I'm just like, look, man, like, I don't want to be a blocker. I don't want to be the guy in a meeting saying this is a dumb idea and this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Sure. You don't want to say those things because everyone's opinion is valuable, and you don't want it to get to that point. It's like, look, man, you guys are all in on this. Like, look, you guys should just go for that. Like, find somebody else who's invested in that vision. Because, like, for me, I'm not. That's not the story I want to tell. I'm not. That doesn't excite me. I think that's a disservice. And I think to these characters and what we're trying to build, like, for me, I want narratives to matter. I don't want this just to be this thing that we're going to forget about for the next arc. I want things that kind of like last. You know, I want things to matter. And you know, that's where I'm at on it. And there's no shame in, like, hey guys, like, hey, we can agree to disagree. Like, hey, like, you know, you guys got to find the right guy for that, because that's, you know,
that's what happened with your Teen Titans run, right? So there's
a lot of things that went wrong with it, and nothing bad about those creators.
Yeah,
I think we were all told something different when we were brought on, and it's very much writer driven. So, you know, the writer is going to be able to, like, well, this is what we're doing, and you know, that's it. So it's either kind of get on the train or stay off. And for me, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Like, but you know, this is not for me.
So you came off of Spawn. What's interesting about your Spawn run is people talk about you, and if it's either they talk about McFarlane and Spawn, which is of course, why shouldn't they? But then the next person is they talk about you and Spawn, and it's so much so that in my mind you did 100 issues, but you only did 5 or 6, right? There was like 5 or 6 issues.
I was on Spawn for 2 years, and I redrew Spawn Resurrection twice.
Right.
So the first time was with Brian Wood, and I think to Brian's credit, he was trying to tell a different type of story, and like Todd and I were kind of like, this is kind of a rehash of everything that's already been done, where Spawn's kind of in the shadows, and there's like a homeless gang, and he's kind of like, there's this kind of like upheaval thing, and Brian is very good at writing these stories about man against the system stuff.
Sure.
I mean, that's been done in Spawn for, like, you know,
since the beginning.
Yeah, since the beginning, and like, we're bringing Al Simmons back. Let's close the chapter on that. Let's do something new, and it just wasn't really gelling. And I think Todd was like, hey, you know what, this is probably not the direction we want to go. And like, no disrespect to Brian, I think they just paid him and said, hey, look, like, you know, this is not the right way to go. And we redid it. We brought Paul on, and Paul was just so open about ideas and what we wanted to do, and he had some really great ideas that hopefully one day, like, I always have this like fantasy in my mind, like I'll be able to go back and do, like, finish our run on Spawn and just call it like Spawn 3000 or whatever, where it's this thing exists somewhere in the Spawn multiverse, you know, and we can just do it and finish it, and wherever it lands or wherever it lands, you know. But
you should do some like fan story or something and just put it out there.
You know, I would like to do that. It's kind of cool because a lot of the threads we seeded, Todd actually been kind of slowly working into his stuff.
Oh, cool.
Some form or another. So, which is kind of neat. It would just been cool to do everything that we wanted to do with it.
I really leaned into the new 52 here.
Yes, the new 250.
Well, you know, you had your mark on, like you said, like Teen Titans and Spawn, and in doing so, you did some redesigns and some changes to their costumes and to the look. How do you balance the praise and the criticism from, you know, getting like redesigning something that has already been established, but making it kind of cooler in a lot of ways? I'm sure you get kind of both good and bad feedback. How do you, what's been your experience with that?
I think, Spawn 2099. Oh, that would have been great. We could have called it that, Spawn 2099. Anyway, well, I think the thing about it is when you reinvent something, one, you have to be a fan of it if you're working on it and we're trying to reinvent something, because what you need to do is you need to go back and you need to pull all the elements that you as a fan liked about this character or this group of characters. And that's what I did, like Teen Titans. I went back and said, what was my favorite one? It was the Perez Wolfman run. And, you know, I know Marv and had a lot of talks with Marv, and he had so many great stories and he was so in and involved with that. I'm like, you know what? That's my favorite iteration of the Titans. So whatever I'm doing, I need to have that same type of vibe with these characters when I'm working on design. So even color choices and design wise, I need to kind of do something that is still familiar, but different in its own right. So I'm just trying to modernize things, but I'm using color choices and things like that to try to make it feel like it's modern, but it's still like, hey, it pays homage to all that stuff that we loved about it. So when people see it, they look at it, there's that familiarity and people know that, hey, I'm paying respect to everything that's come before. And I'm not trying to, like, you know, totally redesign Raven and make her this thing that's like, you know, like that's so alien. And same with Spawn. And the hardest thing was like, and it was really nice to have Todd's blessing on it, because Todd's like, look, this is a tough job, but I'm like, yeah. And he goes, look, just have fun with it and do what you think you want to do. He goes, at any time, if I don't like this, I can just say this was all a fever dream, or I can just say, you know what, this never happened, or I could just write in a couple pen strokes that all of this is undone. Like we
talk about how you met, like how you got the job, because that was interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting too. So so I was working in games. I was working at Riot Games, and I had come to the decision that working at Riot Games was not for me anymore. Just the culture in the company was shifting and changing, and I was very thankful to be working there and to do what I did. But I was like, you know, I kind of want to go back to telling stories and just having fun. You know, it just wasn't fun to me anymore. So I had been talking to DC, and they were talking to me about Teen Titans. So they're like, hey, you know, you want to do some more freelance stuff? And I'm like, yeah, cool. Like, well, they always knew I liked Teen Titans. And they were always kind of dangling that Teen Titans kind of like carrot in front of me. So I was like, okay, cool. So I was leaving games and getting back into comics. And this is towards the tail end of San Diego Comic-Con. And Todd actually was walking around the con floor towards the end of the show in San Diego. He met his wife, and he stopped by my booth, my artist alley table. I'm like, oh, Tom McFarlane, oh my God. I was like, huge fan. I gave him a sketchbook, and we talked for 5 minutes, and he flipped through and goes, oh, this is really cool stuff. And he goes, oh, you're drawing Spawn, because I do draw Spawn sketches all the time on, like, because I love Spawn. And he's like, oh, that's cool. And then we just had a really nice conversation. That was it. And then I think about a week and a half later, I got a call, and it was Todd McFarlane, and I thought someone was pranking me. I was like, no, he goes, no, but this is really Todd McFarlane. He told me like da. Like we met at San Diego, and like he told me like, look, keep this between you and me, but you know we're bringing Al Simmons back. I was like, oh, thank God, because like I don't like Jim Downey. Like Jim's great, but he should be his own thing. He's like, oh, cool, that's great, because we are bringing back Al Simmons, and hey, like, you know, would you want to draw Spawn? And I'm just like, are you serious? He goes, yeah. I'm like, oh my God, yeah. I told DC like, hey, I'm gonna be working. I'm joins. I'm going to work on Spawn. Like, dude, you should go do that. No problem. So and this is during the, I think, New 52 era. So I think that iteration of Titans I probably did not want to work on anyway. It was kind of like, yeah.
That's so cool. I mean, it's McFarlane is definitely, whenever I see him at a convention, I'm always like, I want to talk to this. And I finally had like a couple opportunities, and he was super sweet and so nice and so giving. Like every single time, like, you know, random person, and he's talking to people all day long. For him to like go around Artist Alley and actually everyone knows who he is. He knows the gravitas.
He will walk around and talk with everybody. You have to physically pry him away to stop talking to fans. Because like, Todd, we have to go. We do. Like,
I consider him like the modern Stan Lee. Like
I do too.
Took over Stan Lee's role as mayor of comics. You know,
I think it's kind of a toss up between him and Rob. You know, Rob Liefeld, because they're both very, very fan engaging, very engaging personalities.
Sure.
I think Todd though is. I think there's just something different about Todd from Rob that kind of distinguishes himself in a good way. Like both are great guys. I think more of like I think he's more heir apparent to the Stan mantle. I think, but both are great emissaries for comics.
For sure.
And Jim Lee, of course. Like, I mean, it's so funny. Like these guys that revolutionized comics, you know, and brought us into this modern world. You know, they deserve that pedestal that they're on. And it's such an odd concept to think like that. You know, something like Jack Kirby didn't get it to the level that they have it now. You know, I mean, he is post his death, you know, but it's, you know, I don't think he had that in his life at the time, which is unfortunate.
Well, I think comics are now getting a lot more credit. Fandom is such a bigger thing now.
Right. Or it wasn't that of respect. Like he was always respected, but it wasn't, you know.
Yeah, I think it was different because like you used to like hide your comic collection and think like for me I was always upfront about like I collect comics, I like watching cartoons, I draw, this is what I do. And you know, and throughout junior high and high school I always got clowned for it. But yeah, I think you just gotta be true to who you are and have a strong sense of self, you know, and usually if people are laughing at you, like that's cool. I mean it's okay.
I said, Todd's the mayor, Rob's the fun uncle.
Yeah.
The uncle that you don't know what he's going to do.
Right. If you get a little too much wine in him, he could say the wrong things, right?
Well, yeah, Rob is sometimes very controversial. If you listen to his podcast, he'll just say it, and I'm just like, oh, he said it. I'm like,
we've been on the path of wrath of Rob's. So we've been on that journey before.
Right.
But good times. It's good times. How did you get into
my first comic that I bought? My first superhero book was Youngblood. So it's like that was my entryway to comics. So my affinity for Rob is always there.
That's why it was so fun to get screamed out by him.
Was he in a bad way? Like, oh, you guys.
It's a story for another day.
Yeah, but it wasn't bad. It was just it was bad.
It's funny though, in comics, sometimes you're the villain, and the next minute you're the hero, and everything's fine again.
We had a conversation with Gareb Sheamus about this. Gareb used to run Wizard, and he shared stories like that. He was like, "I'll see one of these guys. They'll they'll curse me out, yell at me, and then the next con they're giving me a hug." And it's like that is just
it's all good. We're all friends.
The good thing about CovrPrice is we're just data driven, and so everything that we do on the top 10 and stuff like that, it's not our opinion like a lot of other sites. It's really like this is what the aftermarket is saying, and then we'll do commentary on what we see. And I think that's a hard concept.
You can't argue with the data. You're just reporting like, hey, facts. This is it. What's hot.
You can't argue with it, but you can say like, oh, it's all fake. It's all, and you're like, no, it's really. But I mean, you know, we do our best to be as like completely neutral as possible and positive about comics. That's our kind of our role. And that's what we like. You know, we love this industry. That's what we're trying to promote and do. So
and I wanted to jump into, so JSS Brooklyn asked a question, which actually we're going to get into here. He said, what do you recall as your first comic book? Now we have the answer.
Right.
Do you want to say it, or do you want me to just bring it up?
Well, my first superhero comic book was the, I think, Captain America Bicentennial Battle. I can't remember what issue it was, but That was my first superhero comic, my first exposure to superhero comics.
Was it not this Noble Causes Family Secrets?
Oh no, my first comic that I read or drew.
This is the first one that you.
Oh yeah, my first pro work, I guess. Does any stuff count? I don't know if any stuff.
We'll go through the journey and correct me on the way, because it's always this is the journey we take. We had 4 people doing research on this stuff because no one has it. Like it's like other sources, other people think they have one thing, and then we ask, and this you're not an oddball here. It's every creator we talk to. What was your first? They're like, oh God, I have no idea. So the first one we have was your Ink Punch Quarterly with Funkotron. So we have that as your first interior art. You did a chapter.
I did 3 issues of that. We did it was Captain Nautilus, which is a spinoff of Captain Nemo.
Yep.
And
right there. There's your
Nautilus. 3 issues of it. Just very, very badly drawn by me.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Well, you guys are very nice. Thank you.
You're pulling in some Joe Mad right there. You know, that's very.
There's a lot of my influences were pretty apparent.
I see a little Ramos in there. No,
it was basically like my 5 guys was like Michael Golden, Arthur Adams,
sure,
Scott Campbell, Joe Matarreri, and Jason Pearson were the guys that I was constantly looking at. And then Humberto came on the scene. I was looking at Humberto, and all the guys were kind of in that same kind of anime type of vein, and that was something that I kind of gravitated towards. So everything was kind of cartoony, and then after that we did a thing called Double Take.
Right here, Codename Mayday. So it was a double cover,
which is
we did both sides.
Well, it was a flip comic. So one side was a book called Evil Ways,
right here,
by another artist, and then I did my 12 issues called Codename Mayday. It was basically like Danger Girl meets Indiana Jones. Again, really poorly drawn, but it was basically her.
Again, this is pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff. No,
I would buy this on the stand right now.
Oh God, please burn it! Bury it.
What year was that? That's in the early 2000s. Yeah,
2001. 2000. But the fun thing about both of those things was they were all published by Tony Moore and Robert Kirkman and Funkotron.
Oh, funny.
And we did shows with them all the time. We were like right next to them because I did a lot of stuff with a guy named Val Staples, who's a writer and colorist. Did a lot of the He-Man stuff. And our booth was the MV Creations booth. And we were always right next to the Funkotron booth. And we always did stuff. And then, Val and Robert would always talk about hey, let's do this book. And Val's like, well, what do you want to do, John Boy? Let's do a book. I'm like, okay, I've got this dumb idea. He goes, that's dumb, but let's do it. we just wanted to do books and get published and get noticed, and we're just trying a bunch of things. And
that was where Kirkman did Battle Pope first before it went over.
He did Battle Pope, and I did some Battle Pope stuff really badly. I did a lot of layouts for it. One of my friends helped me finish it, and Robert was so pissed off at me because I was working it was really tough because when you're trying to do comics and you're still working I was working 14 to 16-hour days doing construction. So I'd come home, try to draw, and I'd fall asleep, and then have to get up and go to work. I'm like, oh man, I jump in the shower and go to work, so.
This wasn't your cover, but I have to share this because this was on the back cover.
Yeah, we did. I did a lot of He-Man stuff. So
I can't tell you how much I can't tell you how much I love this, and I would kill for this as any cover because I'm a huge Motu fan, and this is right there at the top of most Motu artists, honestly.
I think Tony Washington called me that, so he did an amazing job making me look good. This again is tied to Val Staples and Robert Kirkman, where Val, huge Masters of the Universe fan, actually got the license to do He-Man comics, Masters of the Universe comics, and hired me as a marketing director, which I had no business being a marketing director. So I moved to, where was it at? Lynchburg, Virginia.
Wow.
And was working on He-Man comics, and I would also do art stuff to help out. And because we would always work double duty trying to do things, because again, we were just trying to do cool comics, and I was doing the marketing stuff and trying to draw and do stuff at the same time. So
How many times have you moved around? Because I know before the call you were saying you just moved again someplace.
Yeah.
We moved, like, just lived everywhere.
Yeah, I guess for me, like, you got to go where the work is, and I think every move is an opportunity to try to like just start clean on a clean state with better habits, and stuff. So
you just burn bridges in the old state and just don't look back, right?
No, it's not about burning bridges. I think it's just for me. It's like I always wanted to work in comics, and my first Comic-Con when I was 16 was in San Diego, and I tried to go every year. And I was always standing in those long lines trying to break in, and this is a dream for me. And if I had an opportunity to work in comics and it meant that I had to move to another state to do it, then I would do it. Because you kind of have to be all in and really serious about what you're doing, regardless about what talent level you're at. Because at some point you're going to get good. You put enough hours in and you're drawing all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week or whatever. At some point, you're going to hit that 10,000 hours where you're just going to get better at that point. The thing is, it's really never too late for anybody to start over and do something. The thing about it is you got to have the mindset and the discipline to want to do it. Because everyone, if you're choosing to start a career later in life and you don't have a proficiency in it, you got to realize yourself that you're going to have to work a lot harder, and you have to create a plan for yourself. So if you're coming in and you want to be the Kobe of comic books, the Kobe Bryant, you got to figure out what was Kobe's work ethic and who's the equivalent of Kobe in comics, figure out what their work ethic is, and try to replicate that same work ethic. So you got to work as hard as that guy or harder in order to make it. 100%. Because if you think you're going to get good just by working as hard as the average guy doing it, your work is just going to be average. But if you want to create an upper echelon for yourself, or like, I want to be the Kobe of comics, Kobe would train 3 times a day. Kobe Bryant would. He would get up at like 5 or 6 a.m., do a private workout, take his chopper, fly into Staples Center, work out with the Lakers, come home, take his chopper back home, eat, spend a little time with family, and then train again at home, and then fall asleep and go back and do it all over again.
Jeez. So
there's a reason why people like Kobe were at the top of his game. People like Jordan were at the top of his game. And if you look at guys like, Todd McFarlane or Jim Lee or even Rob, what type of work ethic they had and what they did to get good. It's
so true.
You got to have that mindset. So.
Now this Snake Man one, so I should actually say the titles so we go back real fast.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So Ink Punk's Quarterly #1 from Funkotron in 2001.
Right.
That was your first interior art. Then your first cover was Double Take #1 by Funkotron in 2001. That was in the summer, July. And then you did this was a little bit later. But that cover we just showed, that Motu cover, was the back of Masters of the Universe #3. It's the second series from 2003. I think that was your first, like this, since this through Image, that was your first kind of mainstream cover art, even though it was on the back.
Yeah, I think so. I think I did.
But then it was this one.
I did Noble Causes in between that. Like Jay Ferber was really great. I met him in Chicago, and he asked me to do a backup, and I'm like,
inside,
like, dude, because like I would work for anybody, work for free. I didn't care, because for me, I just knew that I wanted to get my work out, and the more opportunities I had to do pages, I could start getting better, because then it's a reason to sit down and draw and try to get better and better and better and better. And just like looking at that early work, it's so horrible. And
I mean, this is again so good. This is Master of the Universe, Rise of the Snake Man #1, 2003. I mean, this I think was your first mainstream. Well, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah, it was pretty nice. It turned out all right. Like there's a lot of problems.
It's pretty nice.
I think for the time it was cool, but like we all start somewhere, right? So it's okay.
And now here we are in your modern days. I mean, here's your Cobra Commander. I mean, now we just got the announcement of the Energon stuff. You got, you're on the first issue, you're the 1 in 100. This foil was, everyone was excited about this cover because it's freaking gorgeous.
Oh, well, I think there's a big thank you goes to Robert Kirkman, because I knew Robert from way back. And I think he was throwing me a bone by letting me do a lot of 100s, which
I think you did. I think you did a favor because I mean, like, look how many covers there are. Not to throw any shade at any of these art, but this is the best cover of that first issue.
Oh, thank you, man. I always try like when you're
David Mack's in there too. David Mack's in the running, and I still give it to you on that, even though we love David Mack. It's
tough when you're working with and working for friends, you know, and people you came up with. I think the stakes are higher. You really want to make sure you deliver because Robert doesn't have to give me work at all. And the fact that he is, I'm like, God, I got to really do him a solid because you want to make sure, like, hey, dude, like, thank you for this. Like, you know, here you go. You want to deliver. You just want to show up.
Let's talk about your most valuable.
That's subjective, but yeah.
I mean, it's valuable in terms of aftermarket. Your BRZRKR 1 in 1000 with Keanu on the cover is probably, it's hands down your most expensive and most sought after. I mean, BRZRKR has really taken off in a big way. Right. I mean, there's a lot happening content-wise about it. And then you also did something really unique with it where you won't sign these anymore. So just to give people a little understanding, the 1 in 1000 was the signed version. Right. And then a few months later, probably about 6 months later, Boom released unsigned versions on the web store there was only about like, I think 100. And those
service, they should have destroyed those copies.
Right. And those are still out there, but those were, I forget how much they cost. It was around like $250. But the signed version goes for about $3,000. I think the non-signed version goes for about $600, $700. But you don't sign these anymore, right?
There's a funny story to that. I don't know if you guys want to hear it. This was. So I got asked to do a cover for this. So I'm like, oh, cool, Keanu? Sure. Like I'm not very good with likenesses. It took me a long time to do like, okay, it's got to look like Keanu. But the thing is, COVID hit, and they're like, hey, you know, Keanu's going to sign these. I was like, dude, I want to meet Keanu. They're like, no, it's COVID. I was like, well, he's signing them. He's like, well, dude, like, is the creative team going to be there? Well, I think Matt Kent was going to be down there. Well, Keanu was signing this. I was like, dude, I'll fly out on my own dime. I was like, I want a signed copy, but how about we double sign these for everybody? That way it's a huge treat. And they're like, nah. I was like, there's no charge. I just want to fly down there, get my double signed book, and then double sign for everything. So everyone gets a double signed book. I think it'd be great. And if Matt's there, Matt signed it, Ron's there, let's bring everybody, have everyone sign it. Signed book. Like, that would have been great. They didn't want to do it. So I'm like, okay. So that book dropped, and it was like, went bananas. And a couple of years later, I was doing a signing with CGC, and they're like, well, hey, do you want to sign these? I'm like, yeah, but I only want to do a one-time signing. So I created an agreement with CGC, like, this is the only time we're going to sign it. It's going to be this much. It pissed off a lot of people, which I'm like, okay, like, all right, well, sorry. Because like it was the 1 in 1000. So you have to spend like
a lot
of money to get this book. So if you're spending that much, then to have a double signed book, I said it'll be that much more expensive. And I was like, I know a lot of people won't do it, but then anyone who gets a double signed book, it's going to be that much more rare, because if I sign it for 20 or 25 bucks, everyone whose book is signed just by Keanu is going to be worth inherently less. Because everyone else is going to have a double signed book. And I was like, you know what? We did it this way, then the book retains its value, and it'll always retain its value. If I only do it at one time, then this book will be like, there's only like 7 copies, I think, that are double signed or something like that.
And they are locked down in collections. And I know this because the 2 of them have reached out just to brag. Like,
yeah. So,
and tell me how rare it was. So it's funny.
It's super rare, but then when you go up to sell those, then inherently those books will retain their value. And it creates a healthier aftermarket, I think, because there's certain books that I'm actually retiring. My agent actually floated this idea, like, look, certain key books that you sign a lot of shows, you should at least some point retire, because then everyone who's paid for that signature, those books will appreciate because you're no longer signing those.
Sure.
And people's books or CGC, those things will be inherently worth more, and it'll create a stronger aftermarket sale for all those collectors. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, we'll do that. She's never seen me.
That's an interesting concept. I don't think I've actually heard someone talk about, limiting their signature for collectability. It's very interesting. I've actually never even thought about it. Actually,
she's smart like that. She's like, so like Marvel Action 10s and all that Marvel Action books and those, I don't sign those anymore.
Yeah,
we do sign them. It's ones out of our own PC that we'll sign for people. So if they get them CGC, like,
So. Look, and this, by the way, is one of your other most expensive books. It's a $150 raw book. I think it's $300, but I think they go for like way more on eBay.
Yeah,
no, 300. You can still get them for like 300. Yeah. But like, I mean, this just pops.
Well, it's interesting seeing the change in your art style too, because before you had more curves. Your Transformers, some Spider-Man. It's more sharper edges, like more anime inspired. It seems like more like the hair on some of your people are. Is it like sharper corners and things like that?
I'm getting more anally technical, which is weird because I'm getting too technical and too tight. So I'm trying to learn to like, dude, you need to like pull back and like have fun with it and get a little bit more open with your stuff because.
Well, it's looking good. It's not bad.
It is, but it's too much line work because, like, there was a point in like late 2000 where like Dan DiDio would tell me like, look, you gotta have more mature line work in your stuff. It's too cartoony, and we're edging more towards more mature work for stuff because the guys who are cartoony we hire to Scotty Young or to somebody else. We want that. But everyone else, like, we don't want cartoony. We want something that's more realistic. So for me, I interpret it as more detail. So it created a lot of bad habits for me where I'm just like cramming too much in. And it's.
Well, this was the first book I looked at. And I was like, wait, that's John Boy?
Yeah. It's more open and fun, right? It's like, it's a little more bouncier. It's like, I kind of want to get more towards the more opener stuff. A little, like, still some detail, but not as like. Not full retard, if you know what I mean. Don't go full retard.
You're gonna Tropic Thunder it. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to go full retard. You want to kind of have some bounce in it and make it a little more fun. So I'm trying to work backwards and get back to that.
By the way, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. Please go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna say Amikami is just an underrated series. It's such a fun series.
It was a fun series. Yeah, I think I did like 2 covers for them or something like that. So
interesting. Yeah, I did. I would have flipped past this one, and I have the series in my collection. I don't think I realized it was your cover.
Right.
But I mean, there's your signature there because it's not like you look at some of your work, like you can tell that this is you. You can tell that this is you, right?
Yeah.
These are another $100 book, $100 book, $100. Well, this is $3 book because people don't know. But it's interesting. Just a lot of your work is floating, and it's pretty. It does go for a good amount in the aftermarket.
When I think of your work, like honestly, I like, and maybe it's because you've done interior as well as the cover and stuff, but like it feels like a comic book. It feels like a character coming to life, and like you're seeing it, and it's really nice. It's. I wanted to ask though, are you just doing digital now, or are you doing
It's actually, there's digital cleanup, and then I'll look over my crappy inks with digital ink to fix all my mistakes. So I'm not the world's greatest inker. So when I do ink, I'm like, okay, let me scan it in, clean up the levels a little bit, and tighten things up a little more. Because, there's only so tight you can get with things. But then a lot of covers I get, they want like 1 million characters on it.
Yeah.
And then when you get into the minutia, like they get, like, no one can pencil that tight or ink it that tight. So I'm just like, okay, all right, well, let me go and fix it digitally. So
you have original art then for a lot of these?
I have a lot of original art. Yes.
Wow.
Just about everything I have original art for.
Do you hold on to it?
I hold on. I don't like selling my art just because, like, I talked to Scott Williams 2 years ago, and we were talking about his X-Men, Uncanny X-Men cover. He sold for like $1,500, and the guy is now the guy who bought it was a kid at the time. He sold it. I think it was like for $250,000 or something like that.
Whoa!
Yeah. And don't ever sell anything, right? That's the rule of everything. That's why we're here collecting comics, because we buy them to sell them and never sell them. That's the rule of comics.
Right. Well, that's the thing is like, there's no rule for like,
there's no rule.
You make mad money. I always feel like you should give the artist something, but most people won't, because it's like, you know, you're like $250,000. Like, holy cow. You know, you just go crazy with that money. But I think for creators, because I'm always kind of like, okay, if I sell it, then it's got to be for this much. That way, at least I get something out of it. But if it sells for something more down the line, but I mean, I say that now, but I needed the money, and I sold my Marvel action covers. You know, the same guy still has them. He's always showing me. He's like, I still got it. I'm like, dude.
He bought this one.
He's got two of them. So yeah. So I'm just like, damn. I wish I never sold it.
Can you tell us how much that went for?
I think it was like $2,000.
$2,000. That's a good deal.
A steal, I think, because like, I think if they auction that up in a market now, it'd probably be way more than that, I'm sure. But
we're running out of time, and I want to get to everything. And I wanted to show this because this is caught my attention when I was talking to you at San Diego. There's something. What's that, John?
No, I didn't say anything.
There's something that you do with your art, and I had a hard time finding an example. You showed me a Mega Man cover where you basically, instead of a remark, you do this version where you outline the characters with your paint pens, right? And in a similar color theme to kind of match what's pulled out from the book. Like, you look at the regular cover and then your remarked version with the bold, and it stands out. And now you don't even want the other one anymore.
Oh, right. The Keanu one was traditional, so that I still have that at home. But
when you do these remarks, I mean, they really pop. And I think they're cheaper version than doing a full little sketch. Right?
Sometimes if I have time, I'll actually do stuff, or like if it's Batman, I'll put bats in it, or do something to add something, or do something in the title dress to kind of differentiate it. But like, I think these done for the One Night packs, I signed 60 books, and only 10 of them, I believe, have something like this. So they're really rare, and I'll do an outline on it, which is called remarking. So anytime an artist does something where they do something unique with the printed material, it's called a remark. So it's either a drawing or an outline, or they'll repaint something or redo something. For me, I just do that because it does something for the added value for the collector market.
Yeah,
it makes it kind of cool to create a little Easter egg that's kind of scarce for everyone else, because
I love it. Like, it was so scarce. Like, this was the only example I could find on the entire internet, and I thought
there's more. There's ones in, I think there's ones in red. There's ones in blue.
Sure. Oh, I'm sure there's more out there. Yeah.
I mean, well, there's only 10, I think, that were done like that. So.
I haven't seen that before, and that is so cool, because it really, like you said, you understand the aftermarket, you understand the collectability of your stuff, and like what people as a comic book hunter, and reader and collector want is that road. That's part of it. So to create that and create such a unique thing that people have, and then you can just make it more unique. That's awesome. I think it's really
I just want to do cool stuff for the community, because I know people collect and they want that one-off thing that they have. So for that market, there's that, and for everyone else, they can get whatever they want, And I just think it's trying to just do something that differentiates yourself from everyone else, because most people will just do a signature and just let it go. And for me, I'm like, oh well, let's do some cool stuff to make it kind of fun. So it's like, oh, I got this, and I got this thing that's even more unique, and it kind of makes. There's a lot, because like I love stuff like that, because I buy stuff in hopes of getting it, because I'm a collector too, and it just kind of makes comic collecting that much more fun, because when you do get it, you want to just pour Gatorade over yourself, like, oh my god,
I did a blind bag for an Invincible thing, and I got a Otley remark, and I opened it, and I was like, oh, that's cool, and some like 3 people who I didn't even know ran up and were like, oh my god, what is that? Just like, it just blew their mind. So
and I got junk.
Yeah, Matt got junk.
I got a rock. It's like, oh, Charlie Brown. But I mean, that's fun part about collecting and doing these things, because sometimes you'll get something that is just kind of like, oh, makes it all worth it,
100%.
It's a reason for people to come see you at cons too, because like I've been thinking about the Mega Man cover you showed me, and I wish I would have grabbed it, thinking that maybe I could just get it later. But now I got to find you at the next convention that you'll be at to come and see if I can get that cover again.
Yeah.
Right? So it does make something to I do, but I like that because I like looking forward to something like that. I like having something to obtain at these conventions. Like it's nice to have a goal and a plan going into those things.
If there's something you need or something you want, like, dude, let me know. I'll try to hook up something just for you.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I bought a Darkstalkers from you. Your
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I love that cover. So I had
it's a fun cover.
What's that?
It's a fun cover. I love Darkstalkers. I love it.
I wish I had it right here. I forget where I put it.
Well, Matt, real quick, let's get people into the giveaway since we're coming up to that thing. So John Boy's been nice enough to give us a bunch of New York Comic Con exclusives that he worked on. And Matt, do you want to set this one up? Or
so this was a set that
hey, do I have time to go use the bathroom real quick?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
One second, I'll be right back.
Yeah,
so we'll talk about it while John's going. So here, this was on our New York Comic Con list. So if you guys don't know, we did track all the convention exclusives that were at New York Comic Con. And this was the set that John Boy was selling, and they were available, I think, at the convention, also on Whatnot, and also directly from his website was the main place to go. So he sent us the full set. Here, I should actually take my image down. Here was the full set. So, and it's nice because he signed each one.
How cool!
And this gold foil one here is this is the AP edition, and he did it, in red to match kind of like the blood splatter that's in there. So yeah, these are really, really good looking books.
So to enter, as you can see on the screen, type in hashtag John Boy into the comments, and we'll do that giveaway in a second. The other giveaway we're doing is, of course, thank you for everyone who participated in our member survey. It wasn't even a member survey. It was open to everybody. It was just a comic industry survey, like, how do you guys collect? And because of that, we're going to give away these two comics that come up to, I think, about $500 total in value, give or take. And to be honest, I mean, just such great covers. I love that J. Scott Campbell cover. And to do that,
I usually want to keep these things when I get them, and I'm like, do I really need to give this away now?
Yeah,
but you at least have to keep one for yourself, and you can give.
No, I mean, it's sometimes to do that, but like, there's times where it's just like, you buy it with the intention of the giveaway. You got to do the giveaway. But there was one time where, it was 2 years ago on Black Friday, or no, Cyber Monday, we gave away the first appearance of Sonic the Hedgehog, and that was it was worth $2,000 in a 9.8, I think, at the time. And I can't tell you how badly I wanted to just pocket that thing.
Well, you also gave away, when we first started CovrPrice, you did your Ultimate Fallout 4.
I gave away 4 of my personal Ultimate Fallout 4.
Do you still have them though, right?
I had so at the time I had 10, I think, back in the day. This is like what I bought them off the stand back in the day, just because I was like, actually they're in the dollar bin. And so I plucked them out of the dollar. This is when it came out. And so I just kept them. I didn't really think much about them. So I gave away 4. I think I sold, this is back in 2017, when the first film came out. I think I sold 2, and then I kept 3. And I think I still have those 3 left. But yeah. Wow. I mean, this is back, we were giving them away when it was, $100 a piece. So it didn't feel like that much, but
you know how much they're worth now, though, right? Graded, it's like
don't tell them. Don't tell them.
No, we know this is what we do.
Well, I think that's the thing about it. That shows your love for the community, and that you guys want to give back, and it kind of makes it fun. So, since you guys are giving away 2 sets, let's give away another.
We're doing one set away tonight.
Oh, only one?
Yeah, well, we're saving the other one for the future. So we have 2 sets of these.
Okay. Well, if you guys want to give away, 3 sets, I can mail a set to the additional winners if you want.
Yeah,
I'm doing 2 winners tonight. We could do 2 winners tonight.
Okay, we can do 2. Let's do 2.
Okay. That's very generous. Thank you.
I will just give me the information. The next person who wins,
you got it.
The other person, I'll go ahead and tell my guys, hey, ship this out to this dude.
That's great.
Really appreciate that. Yeah, no, that means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, we were just talking about these. Were available on your site. I think they're available at the convention, and also they're sold on Whatnot, right? That was the 3. And look at that AP, that blood splatter and the red sig.
So good. So
I
that's
feel bad you guys didn't keep any copies for yourself. So we'll have to remedy that.
That's kind of
we're just gonna keep giving them away though. That's the thing.
You can't give them away. Like you got to keep something. You got to keep some pirate loot for you. Some loot.
You should talk to my wife. She will come in here. And you should look at the pile next to me. It's obnoxious.
It's truly the curse of like CovrPrice, because we always hold these comics.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is the pile I got to go through, and just of stuff I got to get out.
It looks like my office. If I am blurred, this you like, dude.
My wife hates coming in here because she used to share this one. She was like, "Well, I guess I'm not using this anymore." No.
The curse of CovrPrice is all these comics pass through our hands. And we're just middlemen to everybody.
And we give a lot to our team too. So when you write for us, when you work for us, we try to like make sure we give back to our team members. Although it's been a while, so I'm sure if they're watching,
you gotta take care of your troops. Gotta take care of your community. Like it's that's how you kind of keep it going. So
100%. Well, let's do the giveaway then. Here we go. All right.
So 2 winners from this. Do they have to enter in again, or are we going to just do?
Pick 2. Yeah, I think just can you pick 2?
This always happens. We got like 55 people watching, but we only got 35 entries. Now's your chance, guys. Hashtag John Boy, and you'll get into this. And we're giving away 2, so you have really good chances to win.
Yeah. Well, people feel bad about winning because they just no. We're just mocking. We're just mocking them.
We're mocking people for. All right, couple of seconds.
You would be so surprised at how hard it is to get people just to throw in for a free book. It is sometimes pulling teeth. Yeah, it's like when we do social media posts,
driving or listening, and they don't have their phones with them. I'm imagining a situation where they're not.
We could do John Boy. What we could do is roll one now, and then for those listening, we can offer just leave a comment. And then by Friday, we'll pull those that made a comment. We'll put it in the same way like this, and we'll run it, and then we'll choose a winner of those that left a comment.
I'll tell you what. However you guys want to do it, but whoever the winner is tonight, and then at the next one, just send me both of their info.
Okay.
And I will send them. I'll send them a set myself, so it's not on you guys. We'll take care of it.
That's great.
So we'll take care of both winners. We'll send out a set.
Great.
And on these sets, we'll include something cool just because they're fans of the show. So we'll
you just got it up to 40.
Yeah, but we'll do so for the rewind crew, for those watching that stayed on, and for all of you that are still watching live, just leave a comment, not in the live comments, but on when the video's finished. What was your favorite cover, or what was your favorite thing that John Boy talked about? And then whenever you're ready to run it, John, we'll run this set, and then we'll run the other one.
Let's do it. All
right, here we go. Big money. No whammies. I don't know what else to say. We need a drum roll.
Yeah, we do.
All right.
Hey.
Obi-Wan.
Nice.
Congratulations, Joel.
All right. Yeah. Good job. So, Joel, reach out to me, John, at CovrPrice.com. Give me your shipping information. We'll get over to John Boy's team.
Yep.
Congrats. You get all 3 of those berserkers.
Something's killing the children.
Something's killing the children.
Yeah, we do not have the $3,000 book.
You heard it here first.
John Boy will sign your Berserker. Keanu.
I can't sign any more copies, which is I never got the chance to finish that story, but we did it a one-time thing, and that was it.
Yep.
And then people are like, "Well, can't you just sign another copy and I'll crack it?" I'm like, "Dude, I can't because my agreement with CGC was a one-time thing." Like, well, can't you break your agreement? I'm like, why would I break my agreement? Like, no, I can't. Like, I've had like probably 20 people since. Like, I'll pay $1,000, no problem. I'm like, dude, I can't do it, man. Like,
wow.
That's it. One time was one time. That's it. So I was like, but look, there's other people who have that double signed. You can offer them some money, they might part with it. So,
I really respect that you stick to your guns on that stuff, because there's a lot of people I think who kind of can be convinced of other things. So
it's not about money. Like, come on, can you just sign it? I'm not going to sell it, right? And can you just sign it?
Can't do it.
So here's the list of everybody who entered, and they finished the survey.
This is for the survey, and just so people know,
Wow.
what we're trying to do with this survey, an industry survey hasn't been done in about 15 years. There was one that was done independently. There was one that was with, but there was one done by, the most recent one was about 10 years ago where DC did it, but it was more directed to their relaunches and how people reacted to the rebirth stuff. So there hasn't been a big industry survey, and we got a lot of responses. So we have a very good sampling that I think will get an accurate assessment of where things are in terms of what are you buying, how do you collect, what do you see, what do you call yourselves, a flipper, a collector. We can answer these questions now. So we're going to pull all that data together and create the story, and basically it's going to be pretty we're going to get some interesting intel just of where we are today.
The interesting thing is, I mean, we've been doing this now since like 2016, and in that decade, it's like your preconceived notions that you kind of lock into place when you first start something about the comic community get completely dispelled. And there's been a number of times when I'm looking through the data, and we'll share some of this data. I think we're going to do some reporting and stuff on it with everybody. But like some of the misconceptions that I've had, like, or the things that have shifted in the industry were shocking to me. Like, you know, just little things like we work so much with people who are collecting and focusing on the value. I thought that was going to score high, but from the people who responded, there was so many people reading the comics and talking about like, yeah, I chase covers, but I read every single one of my comics.
Of the 95%, this is one little tidbit we can give, but of 95% of our respondents said that they read their books that they purchase. 95.
I didn't expect that because I think I just get overwhelmed with all the comics that we go through and stuff that we don't get to read everything. But yeah, I mean, people are #1 fans and treasure hunters and looking for the value there, but also enjoying the story and really enjoying the art. Oh, and the other thing, I don't want to give everything away, but like creator-focused collections. People will collect on character and creator.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so there's people out there who are just stalking you, John Boy.
Well, I mean, I do that for like Arthur Adams stuff and Todd McFarlane stuff. I mean, I did that early in the 90s because anything like Rob would draw or Jim would draw or Todd would draw, I would buy it because I buy 2 copies. I'd have my artist copy, so when I'm drawing, I can look at their stuff, try to figure it out, and then I have my collector copy that I would never read. That way, it's like it's pristine, right?
You're one of us. You're one of us.
One of us.
And I think that's the thing about it too, is with comics and collectability too, because if there's something I like, I'll buy 2 or 3 copies of. I'll have one that I read, one that I keep away, and then one. I'm like, you know what? If money gets tight, I would just turn around and sell it, make a couple bucks, and I can buy more comics. You know, so
the rule of 3. I call it the rule of 3. You buy 1 to keep, 1 to sell for a rainy day, and 1 just so you don't feel like you still have 2 left. Right.
I do wish I had 10 copies of that Miles Morales first appearance. So that's
now you're just rubbing it in.
I mean, and the opportunities I had to buy the variant too. I mean, there's you can count, like there's so many missed. You know, there's so many misses that you have, and there's so many wins that you have, right? And
so I gotta tell you, I was reading an Alpha Flight #1 by John Byrne.
Yep.
I opened it up, and there's a black and yellow, like yellow page type colors ad for Mile High Comics.
Yeah.
And I looked, Hulk 181 was like $25. And I'm just like, and you know, Mile High, they grade on grades, so they're like, you know, you're mint, blah 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 blah, $25 or whatever it was. It was just like,
There was an issue of Watchmen, and I was flipping through it. It was like I think it was like in the $5 bin. I don't know what was going through my head, but on the inside cover, it was signed by Alan Moore. I didn't pick it up. I don't know, and it haunts me to this day. I don't know what that kid was thinking, you know. But yeah, it was one of the stupidest things I've ever done.
Well, we learn from our mistakes. So here's how we're going to run it. I've added every single person. So I said, I'm not giving away any information. This is the column of people that people said you can show on YouTube so that, you know, there's no like identifying information. Some people put their emails here, but so we have over, I think, almost 2,000 people, 1,900 here, who've entered this part. It starts on line 7 and it goes to 1,958. We have 2 choices. We can do it the fun way, if it's still working. Let's see. Yeah, I put it into a spin wheel.
Wow, that's
2,000 people into the spin wheel here. we could do it that way, or we can do the boring 7 to whatever, just do a random number.
Just do it that way. Just do it that way. You're on that one, and we're 17 minutes over. So
okay.
Well, hopefully it's somebody here on the cast so they get it. So yeah, but let's see what happens. Go for it.
So Matt, are we doing 2 separate giveaways for each one, or is it one person?
There was 2 separate giveaways for that one. Yeah,
so,
but you got to remove. I don't know if you can remove that person out of it.
Will. If they win twice, we won't. Yeah. So which one are we giving away first, Matt?
Do the black cat. The
black cat. All right.
They're literally about 2 arms length away, but I can't.
1209, and the winner is, oh man, I have to go all the way to the bottom. 12.
Wait, oh, you're doing it that way? I thought you were doing the fancy wheel way.
Oh, you said do it that way. Well, here,
yeah,
we can do the second one that way. Okay.
Right.
Oh, old school.
Yeah, this is the terrible way.
Oh yeah, there's a question. So yeah, Nelson, I do my original is 11 by 17. So.
Oh my goodness, this person put a period in. Was it 1209? Yeah, 1209. They just put a period.
Oh no, so we don't even know who that person is. All right, there you go. Go back to the wheel.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, they don't get it then. That's it. They're like,
why did you do that? You won, period person.
They probably just didn't want to do it, and they're like, I'll never win.
Yeah, okay. We'll see what happens when you don't fill out all the questions on surveys.
Watch the one again. Like,
all right, here we go. We'll do it this way.
Anyone can claim I was that period person.
Okay, Woohoo is the first winner. Let's find him. What was it?
So these people might not be watching. They probably aren't, but
well, they'll get something cool in the mail. They're like, what's this?
Right.
I didn't order this.
We'll reach out to them. We have
and then their wife is like, I told you not to order more comic books.
That's right.
And you said that was the Black Cat one?
That was the Black Cat one.
Yeah. All right, Black Cat. And now, congratulations. I'm going to remove you. That makes no difference in our Wheel O fun. All right, second winner.
Now you have one greater chance to get this. The odds just went up.
LJ Comic Books.
All right.
Cool. Is LJ here? Is LJ in the chat?
They're probably not in here because these were people that just filled out the survey, and we let them know that we were going to announce it on the show. So we're just fulfilling that so that they can actually see that they popped up and that we did run it and that it was, facilitated.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody who participated in that. We're going to find your email from the survey. That was your username, it doesn't have to be a CovrPrice username, just the name. And we'll find you, we'll contact you, we'll get those sent out to you. But thank you. We're going to do another survey very soon to follow up on this, to drill down on specifically like CovrPrice stuff. This was more like industry stuff. Now we're going to focus on CovrPrice stuff. So that'll be coming in a month or so, and we'll give away more prizes.
And John, there's so much I wanted to ask you what your favorite cover was. And here's Igor who asked what our artist was that's inspired you, but you answered that with Art Adams, I believe, right? And J. Scott Campbell. And they want to know who inspires you now. Maybe it's the same people, but we have lots of questions, but we're almost running out of time. Can you shotgun it?
I think, yeah, there's so many great artists out there. Like the bar is always so high to do good work because so many great talented guys, and the guys I meet are getting younger and younger because they just have access to better tools, better information. Like for us growing up, it was like flip through comic books, and how to draw the Marvel way was pretty much the only way to learn. And now it's like you have tutorials and
stuff. That book of anatomy that everyone had from like the 70s.
The Andrew Loomis. The Andrew Loomis book, and that was like coveted. It was crazy. So because I used to keep checking that book out at my library for like a whole year. And then I turned it back in. I'm like, oh, I need that book again. So I went to go check it out. And then they told me someone stole it after I returned it.
Oh man!
I think I have a copy of it somewhere. I'll have to see if
I have 2 or 3 copies of it.
Okay,
really
Thank you so much for joining us and for just being on the show. Honestly, it's always like these are like the best nights for us because it's we talk to you and like other artists at like Comic Cons and stuff like that and do all that, but to actually sit down and talk for a long time with you, to hear your stories, to hear your coming up and what you were, started with and where you got to and what you're continuing to do and how you're pushing limits. Honestly, truly inspirational. And and thank you so much for giving away a couple sets to the people watching.
My pleasure. I'm super appreciative to be on the show, and I really appreciate how you guys are like really all in on your community and want to give and promote comics, and anything I can do to help you guys out to win and kind of get the word out on comics. I'm always on board.
Yeah, same here. We love what you do with Comic Tom. We love what you do on your own. We love, we're watching it all, and we told everyone here that we had like 1,500 books on this year's New York Comic Con comprehensive convention list. We're the only ones that track it to that extent.
I know, right? And I was like, holy smokes. So thanks for adding our book to that too, by the way. So I appreciate it.
No problem. So last year was 750. And this year was 1,500. So
we just calculated. It took our team. It was like collectively 240 hours to do all that.
Oh, yeah.
We got to have a meeting about was this worth it?
Yeah, that was my meeting. I was like, was it worth it? And yes, it was.
Right. Well, I think just establish you guys' credibility as being a good resource, and at some point, like that will pay off. You know what I mean? It's just, especially as you guys build up your numbers too,
Well, it doesn't really do a lot for us directly, other than just helping the industry out. Because I mean, a lot of it is just helping people out there to find these books, to find out what to buy, know where to go, what booth to go. Hey, here's a list of panels that are giving away these books for free.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to spend $0, you just do those panels. You walk away with $1,000 worth of books.
It's crazy, yeah.
But to your point, really, we are fans first, and I think we just it's so funny. We go down a rabbit hole and we can't stop. And I know that our data integrity team with Hannah, who's leading it, she can't stop. I've seen her at conventions just working on her computer, adding books as she's walking around.
As she's walking past, she's like, "Snap! Can I take a photo of that? Snap! Add it
on the site."
Yeah,
I think it's great though. Like at some point, when you guys build up that resource, and you have enough clicks, people visiting your site, I mean, you could start charging ad space for Snickers. You want to find out.
We'll
watch an ad for Snickers for 30 seconds, and then they can access it.
The ads will only live on the content page, but we won't let it extend out to the main site. So we keep that pretty segmented and. Yeah.
But no, I mean, it all helps, and it's all cool, and it's all, I think it creates those conversations, and it allows us to have cool conversations with you and other artists and creators. So
I think it's always good to be able to travel to more shows though, because if you can monetize a little bit, that pays for your stuff, and you can go to shows and actually deliver more news and exclusives and things that you're doing. Because I'm sure, like you guys do it just because you love it, but sometimes it's a drain on your resources too. You're like, damn.
We're finding ways. We'll make it. I mean, I think just going to the cons and having people talk about it is good marketing for it as well. People talk about CovrPrice, and it's growing. I think the first year we did it, no one knew about it, and it was 1,000 people looked at it. Now we're getting to that 10,000, 20,000 level of people going and checking it out, and And the cool thing is it's useful for people, and I think it allows us.
I use it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's so fun to see what's selling and what's hot and what's not from 1,500 books.
As Rob Liefeld himself called us Wizard 2.0. Now he said it in a derogatory way, but we'll still take it.
We'll take it.
You know what? Sometimes at 1 minute, like I said, 1 minute you're the villain, next minute you're the hero. So just write it out long enough, and then it's everything's all good.
We're forever fans of Rob, so it's actually special to have a Rob story. So
it really is. Praises rather than insults, but I mean, it's just because you guys do a lot of free stuff for the community and things like that. That's I would never want anybody insulted somebody on my team. They can insult me all they want, but don't insult someone on my team. That's
you just insulted the DNA of our system, but that's fine.
Well, there's a lot of people who work really hard. Like I said, you guys spend over 200 hours on stuff cataloging things, and that's no short feat, man. But
it's all good. Rob is Rob. And
Rob, Rob is great. I think.
He loves comics just as much as we do, so you can't that's the thing. We're in the space. So
I think if you guys met him at a show and went and got tacos and talked it over, I think you guys would be booked.
Oh, I'm sure it'd be fine. Yeah.
But if there's anything you guys need from me, if you guys are short on giveaways or something, just reach out to me. I'll have Melanie send you guys something if you guys need some giveaway stuff. Just hit me up anytime.
That is a dangerous door to open. That is a very
It's opened. It's opened.
No, if you guys need stuff, like it's not like you're gonna hit me up every month, but if you guys need something,
we will
every month now.
Every month.
I was going to go weekly.
So we're always happy to give back to the community as much as we can, because there's without the community, there's no us, there's no employment, there's no nothing. So we're always happy to give anything you guys need, let me know. So
I should note that if you want to find John Boy, in the description on this video, it's your Instagram and your site directly, and also JSS Brooklyn added it to the chat here. So if you're watching the live chat, you can also click on it there. But you can find John those two different ways. So and thank you for being on, John.
No, thank you for having me on. Maybe we can do this again some other time.
I want to book a 2-hour block next time.
Oh gosh, I just talk about comics all the time. So this guy does not shut up.
Oh no, this is good. We have ideas for content. Okay, I keep the conversation going. We'll do it off air.
You're not winding down now, John.
I know. All right.
I got yelled about that at the beginning of this.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Keep those comics covered, and we'll talk to you next time.